We would like to dedicate part of this episode to Kid Craddock. He passed away last Saturday from what we hear is cloggage of the arteries, which is really really sad. I mean, that's he's like 53 years old, way too young. Yeah. Did you listen to him throughout the years? Or I know I've heard him here and there, but when he was really big, I was not living in Dallas. So.
I grew up with Kid Craddock.
Did you really?
Ever since I was like 106.1 was like the station to listen to for like all the hit music. So, but when I got older, I started listening to the radio show.
Right.
In the mornings, when you drive to work because you're grown up.
Right.
But yeah, so there was one incident, or not incident, but one time I was listening, it was over the Christmas holidays. And, he always does a lot during Christmas with various charities and stuff. So they had surprised a family, a mother and I think it was 2 or 3 children, whose father/husband was deployed overseas with our military serving. And, just going through some rough times. They were living with her mother, so it was a whole bunch of people, and not so big of a house. And I was driving, and I was listening to it, and it was really touching. And then I got to where I was going, and actually didn't get out of the car. Like, I sat there with the car on so I could finish listening to it.
Right.
And he wound up getting her kids bunk beds.
Really?
Because they were sharing a room, so have more room, I guess. It got them everything that they would need for Christmas dinner. And he's on the phone talking to her because he's had her mom in on it the whole time. So the mom's had to get her out of the house so Kid can get his people in there and get all this stuff set up. They had bikes for the kids, and then, he's on the phone with the mom.
Right,
the woman who's the recipient, and telling her, he's like, hey, go look on the fireplace. And she's like, there's a stack of Walmart gift cards. And he's like, yeah, those are each for $1,000.
Wow. That's, so generous.
Yeah. I mean, he surprised them with possibly the best thing ever. He had the kid's dad.
Really?
He had surprised them. He was down the street waiting in a car. And surprised them after they had gotten all of their gifts. Yeah, and I sat in my car and cried. I'm about to cry right now.
I mean, that says a lot about him as a human being.
Yeah.
I mean, he just wasn't like a personality. And even when he passed away, he was on a golf course doing the charity. It was a
kids.
Yeah, and obviously he went out doing something he loved.
Right.
Which you have to that's.
He dedicated his life to that.
He did, and I had It's funny, over the last few months, me and a few guys at work, we sit around when we eat lunch, we watch the, is it called Dish Nation? And they had all these DJs from around the United States, and he's one of them with his crew.
Yeah.
And he's hilarious. He's like really funny.
Their group is really funny. Yeah. Kelly and Big Al, they're all hilarious.
They're great. And I didn't really realize that until the last few months I've been watching the Dish Nation. I was like, wow, this is in our backyard. I mean, it's really cool.
He's been an institution, so... Immediately after I heard the news, I wanted to send my condolences to his family, his radio family, his friends, and anybody whose lives have been touched by him, most definitely.
Which I'm sure is quite a few. I mean, he said the Kids for Kids, or Kids for quite some time. And, I mean, that just says, a lot about him just as an individual. So it was like, peace be with you, all of his family and friends and fans. So it's really, really a sad day.
I'm Javier with Messer.
Ken Younger from Messer.
And you're watching Rock City.
I'm Mark.
I'm Domino.
Hey, and welcome to Rock City. Ready for some music news?
Absolutely.
What do you got for us?
All right, Paul Di'Anno, formerly of Iron Maiden.
Man, it's like, what? He has two of my favorite albums from Iron Maiden, which is Killers and Iron Maiden.
We know this.
Those of you from earlier.
Had a U.S. tour that was supposed to start in January. Got pushed back to May, June, and now is canceled due to the promoter, issues or, what have you. So, Di'Anno actually stated, quote, "My apologies to the American fans who have been let down by the various promoters who got so badly burnt in this way." He completed his first North American tour early in 2010, 17 years after he got out of prison.
Well, good for him. He was like,
Yeah.
going to the straight path.
You can come back.
Yeah, that's right. It's
from
okay.
Prison.
I was pretty disappointed when I heard that too, because I was told by a venue that was going to have him that, I guarantee there's no way he will not make this tour. You lied.
Lies.
So, and I've never seen him with Maiden, so that was my only chance, and now it's out the window.
Gone. Yeah.
So, who we got? Hell Yeah, which is obviously we've talked about them before. A local band from Arlington, Vinnie Paul.
Vinnie Paul.
They have a new. Well, they're on tour right now with a Gigant tour. But as soon as they get off the road, they're going back in the studio in Las Vegas, where his second home is.
The Hideout.
Yes, yes. And they're going to get Kevin Churko. He has done In This Moment, Ozzy Osbourne, a few other bands to produce this album. So I'm really looking forward to this.
List.
Yeah, this would be great.
It would be really, really nice.
Yeah, and all their stuff is fantastic anyway. I'm sure this would bring it to the next level.
Sweet. Well, we also have The Cult kicked off its Electric 13 tour this past Thursday. The House of Blues in San Diego.
Cool.
Which is a House of Blues.
Yes.
It never fails.
No. Great seats.
And they're going to be performing the 1987 album Electric in its entirety through the tour.
That's awesome.
Which, that would be... I love The Cult.
I do too.
We all went through an 80s, like, the retro phase.
For me, it wasn't so retro. I actually saw The Cult on the Electric tour.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
So.
Well, but they are going to be coming to the House of Blues in Dallas on September 1st.
And playing the whole album, I guess, back to... Yeah, that's cool. I mean, Ian Astbury's, his voice is so unique and just so amazing.
Yeah.
To me, it's up there with Chris Cornell. I put him at that level. I think he's fantastic. Yeah.
What else we got?
We got Metallica's, their movie, 3D movie is coming out called Metallica Through the Never. And on September 27th, the movie comes out, but on September 24th, they'll release a soundtrack to the movie. It's a 2-disc set, and you can also get it on vinyl. So that's pretty cool. Kind of going old school again.
I would pick that up on vinyl.
Yeah, most definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, it's Metallica. So I think that's what we have for music news this week. It is time for Record Roundtable of the Week. And this week, do you want me to go first?
Always.
Excellent.
Age before beauty, man.
Winery Dogs is a brand new band. I just listened to them over the last week. It is a pretty interesting lineup. It's Mike Portnoy from he used to be in Dream Theater and
Dream Theater.
Many other bands he's done. He did Avenged for a while for that one album. And Billy Sheehan, who was with Mr. Big and David Lee Roth in the very beginning stages. And then Richie Kotzen. Many people don't know who Richie Kotzen is. He was a guitar player that came into Poison when they had that good album.
That good album.
Called Native Tongue. He's very bluesy. He has a very, very cool voice. It's very kind of like Glenn Hughes type. And this album is very 70s classic rock. It has some really good rockers and it has a few good ballads too. It's just a solid, great album, kind of like a throwback to the past. Yeah. It's fun. I really, really, really liked it.
So 2 horns?
Yes,
all the way
2
up?
horns up.
Nice. My album is not a new album. It's
Cool.
several years old, but it's a little bit different than the stuff that we usually talk about. Mindless Self-Indulgence. The album name is Frankenstein girls will seem strangely sexy.
Ah,
It's
I
a
like it.
mouthful.
it is.
So the lineup, the song, there's just a lot of songs because they're all really short.
Kind of like a very typical punk album type.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're all really short, and the titles range from Bitches to I Hate Jimmy Page.
Wow. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah. I thought you might get a kick
Yeah,
out
it's
of
like,
that.
huh.
And what I think is kind of interesting and cool is that the album art, you might find if you see it, is similar to Gorillaz.
Oh, really?
And that's because it's done by the same artist.
Oh, cool.
So
Nice.
that's definitely worth checking out. Two Horns all the way up.
Well, I'll have to take a listen to that,
Absolutely.
and we'll check it out. Cool. All right, it is time for Rock and Roll DNA, my favorite new segment. And this week is going to be, what was your first album or CD you bought with your own money?
Okay, so mine was actually 2 CDs at one time.
Cool.
So I think I was maybe 14 or 15. And I was in like a CD warehouse, so you just buy used CDs.
This is great.
Yeah, so I get to browse through other people's shit. So I wound up getting Pearl Jam's album Vitalogy
Love that album.
and Nevermind by Nirvana.
And 2 classics of that age.
Yeah, both ends of the grunge spectrum. So yeah, I think it was like $10 or less
For both?
for both of them. Yeah,
Score.
used CDs, man.
You gotta love it. I still do.
And then immediately after that, I walked down the street to a Radio Shack. That should tell you how old I was at the time, and bought myself a CD player.
And some transistor batteries to go in it.
I bought batteries, a CD player, and headphones.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Those are 2 great albums too. I mean, to start off your musical.
My collection.
Yeah, that's great.
It's respectable.
Yes, definitely. Mine came in a form of an LP, or as we call them, albums.
Yes.
And it's right up there is Rock and Roll Over. I bought one in 5th grade. I actually went to buy Destroyer. So a friend had came over, and he had put on Destroyer. And I just remember hearing that opening song, Detroit Rock City, with the car starting up and getting in a car accident. Like, my God, that's scary as shit. And it right there, it hooked me. And, I listened to it, like, wow, that's like intense. I've never heard anything that intense. So I went out to buy Destroyer, and they were out because it was so popular, but that just came out. So I go, I guess I'll get this album, Rock and Roll Over. And I love it. I mean, to this day, it has some classics on there. Like
Right
Calling
on.
Dr. Love and Mr. Speed, Hard Like Woman. I can go on. So yeah, that was my first album.
Right on.
Yeah.
We get to see both ends of the,
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it,
The rock and roll spectrum.
a DNA spectrum.
Yes,
Yay.
exactly. Cool. All right, welcome back. We are now joined with Kenny Younger and Javier from Messer.
What's all?
How's it going, guys?
Good. Thank
Yeah.
you for the hospitality.
Anytime.
It's our motto.
That's right. I'm glad you
Excellent.
guys were able to come over here.
I'm staying. I'll be here tomorrow.
Cool. That's what you're looking to cover, right?
And I'm soaking it in and getting comfy.
That's right. Well, cool. So what's going on with you guys lately? I know you got a
Man.
lot of stuff on the plate coming up.
Yeah, I mean, considering we took a lot of time off from playing live, we've managed to pack our time off with a lot of stuff. Recording, opening up our studio out in Fort Worth, Messatori.
Very cool.
Yeah, time consuming, but got to keep on moving.
So, as far as a new album coming,
Yeah,
Guitars are next, so this man is in the spotlight.
they sound really good right now. They do. But no, we're gonna probably go out there.
2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, maybe.
Los Angeles.
Yeah, to finish up. So
We've been out at East West Studios and Silver Lake Studios.
Nice.
So yeah, just the commuting. It's good to record locally, but you got to go. You got to go where the facilities are.
most definitely. I mean, you want to stay in touch with that, realm, and the people that make, the big time people are out there as well. Who are you working with out there?
Chad Gennison's producing it, and we have Jim Barton engineering and mixing it.
So, and Jim's been around for a while. He's done quite a few.
He just finished the new Queensryche, minus Jeff Tate version, because there's two of them. So yeah, confusing. They're super stoked with that product. I mean, it's been
that sounds really good too.
Yeah. I heard it. I was taken back. It was very good.
This guy's not doing bad, And actually, towards the end of their recording, we were starting to fire ours up, so the paths were crossed, and they got turned on to our stuff, and
nice.
We were all in the studio together. Derek was hanging out with them when he was out there writing. So
very cool.
Yeah, so there's a little link there now with Jim kind of spearheading our stuff, along with Chad going, the next logical step is for Century Media to get a little taste of it, because at the record release party, they were asking, what are you doing next? And he was like, well, Messer, and they're just like, who? So they're getting to figure out who we are out here in Dallas.
And it's album number 3, is that correct?
Well, this will be our first actual album.
Full length.
Yeah, full
length. You did 2 EPs before, is that correct?
Yeah, we've experimented around with different studios and producers, and we'll do a song here, we'll do a song there, and then we had the great idea to record at the compound, basically where we started and
nice.
Where me and Javier live, and that was supposed to be a 2-part EP. We did the first half of it, and we moved on from there. So the other half never got released. So and that's just it's demo stuff.
Right. But still,
none of it was ever expected to really make it to radio. God bless Angela Chase and the local.
They do a great job.
Oh yeah, so it got on there, but I mean not for a major release type of thing, and we didn't really push it at that. It was called the Compound Chronicles because we were letting everybody know it was like literally filmed. He shot the guitars like in his laundry room. I did the drums in my laundry room.
Did you really? Oh, cool.
Vocals were done in the hallway.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, I mean we just picked different spots, really. And it was a mobile recording unit, so it just went to different rooms. And
that's very organic.
Oh my god!
I had a rig in the bathroom. I had a rig in my back room and a rig in the kitchen.
Did you really?
Yeah. And we went between the 2 lofts. So.
Wow.
And our engineer, live soundman, basically just followed us from wherever we were recording. So yeah, it was totally cool.
I can't wait to hear it. And I know that you guys toured last year. Was the last year with Black Label?
Yeah.
You got to tell us some stories about that.
Oh my god, where do you want to start? Well,
go ahead.
Well, crossing the border was interesting with this guy.
Oh yeah, so I had my identity stolen, I guess, a couple of years ago. But I had the cops come to my house. And so I knew I was gonna have problems going across the border. And sure enough, I guess the guy who stole my shit, he's wandered in like 15 states. And I had to take my shirt off. I had to show him like my tattoos, make sure I wasn't the guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was like hardcore, and I mean, the Canadian border's like.
Did they tip you for the striptease?
No.
They didn't even play the song he wanted.
At least throw a couple dollars.
Yeah, Canadian loonies, actually, they rolled the toonies. We used change up there.
We were walking out of the place, and we saw the guys from Pop Evil in there, so we acted like
we're all butthurt. So we're all holding our ass, walking out, and they're all like, what did they just do to this band? Awesome. So it was like silence, and we're like, oh, guys.
That is so cool.
Oh, man.
And that was our first meeting with them. Like, not even a meeting. It was like we hadn't even met yet. We're on our way to the first show.
Yeah.
And all the bands are getting stopped at the border, and we just happened to get there first. Or did Zach already go through? I don't remember.
He probably did.
They went the day before, actually. They advanced a day early. But yeah, these guys came in after us, and then we'd been held up, and faxing, and the whole thing to make sure that.
Me.
And what, like...
Derek, I think Derek got called in.
Yeah, Derek got called in. He's like, I don't remember any of that. He goes, I must have been fucked up back then.
Derek doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. He goes, well, maybe. I don't know. I'm like, well, yeah, this is what the screen says,
Back when he was 17 or something.
Yeah, he's like, well, I was fucked up in those days. I don't even remember that, so, But he's straight now, but... It was almost long enough where it was laughable. I think it was like so,
Oh man, that's great.
Yeah.
How about actual stories with Zach?
Oh man, I mean, they did their usual meet and greets and stuff. So every show, they they had their family, the Mafia family, come in and come. So we get to see all the before the scenes stuff.
Oh, that's
too.
cool.
So, yeah, super nice. And our bus blew up. We fried the engine after the first show.
That's another story.
Oh, God, I mean,
they came, picked up the Sprinter, loaded up our trailer, and then they said they could only take two of us.
Two people, yeah.
So three of us had to stay in the middle of out in nowhere.
Oh,
it's
man.
kind of raining. It's kind of
it's fall.
so it's kind
of cool.
Cold.
And
Vividly.
actually, for that time of the year in Canada, it's usually pretty cold, but it was nice, but it was still wet and rainy. And we're in Quebec, so I mean we're nowhere near English speaking town.
French.
Yeah, and I think we're about 150 kilometers outside of Montreal, so we're way on the wrong side of the French side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How rude that.
And
yes.
So we had to wait for a cab to come pick us up.
because it's going to a Dodge dealership, so the next one was 45 minutes away, so they
Wow.
have to call a cab. So 45 minutes for the cab to come out, and then 45 for them to catch back up with me and Maddox in the tow truck. And the tow truck didn't want to take the trailer, so there was a little bit of a language barrier with this non-English speaking tow truck driver. So we had to have the dealership facilitate the cab and the tow through
gosh.
phone calls and translations, and and these poor guys are like just standing out in the middle of nowhere in the rain.
just waiting.
Yeah, and then we come to find out that the motor's blown, and this is 4:00 on a Friday in a chicken shit little town, and they're all like they're ready to close up shop, and we're like, we need to figure out what's up with this. We can't wait till Monday because they don't even open on the weekends. It was so small. So
Right.
we're handing out programs and posters and stuff, and they're like, they get the clue, like, oh my God, these guys, like, they have a mission in Montreal. We need to get them on the road. So literally, like, 6 or 7 mechanics like tackled it, and like in an hour, pulled all the parts off to, tell us that your engine's fucked.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
from a way to start the tour.
Yeah, well, Mercedes, 5-cylinder diesel, they just can't run around and get that. We actually ordered it from Houston, and got lost in the storm because that storm was raging through.
Hurricane going through there.
Wow.
Sandy? Was it Sandy? Hurricane
Wow.
Sandy?
I feel like everything on that tour is like
And then it gets held up at the border. It gets lost at the border, and so this whole thing is like it's
Should have been the Murphy
Somebody
Law
sold
tour.
its identity years ago. I don't know.
man.
yeah. So luckily, and I gotta thank my best friend Brendan Butler, because he just within that last month or two bought like $250,000 tour bus.
Oh really? Oh, nice.
For his business. He works in hail damage, so he chases storms, and it's just better for him to, instead of hoteling it, to actually get a badass bus and tow
Right.
his vehicles with it. So he came to the rescue and picked us up, and we finished off the tour in his $250,000 tour bus.
Nice.
3 slide outs, 3 queen size beds, full washer and dryer, full fridge. I mean,
After everything you guys went through, that was
yeah,
well
exactly.
deserved.
It was well
Yeah.
deserved. And man, he
Karma
drove.
Is
Exactly.
alive and well.
It was badass.
Karma.
Yeah, exactly. So we can't thank him enough for that. I mean, he
Awesome.
saved our
Awesome.
ass. The last show actually, we couldn't make because it was too far away. To use his bus, it just wasn't feasible for us to go. I think it was like, oh God, I don't even remember where it was. It was quite the distance, but
It was
anyway.
Thunder Bay, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Thunder Bay.
And the flood came through there.
Washed a bridge
They're
out,
crazy.
and the other openers didn't even make the show.
Oh really?
BLS made it and had an acoustic guy open the show. They just booked some dude with a guitar to open the show for BLS
Really?
there. Yeah.
Wow.
So we're going, man, if we would have tried to haul balls all the way up there and have the bridge washed out
We
and
would've
get
made
fucked
it.
up, like now we've got his bus thrown in the mix, like
Yeah.
so and then he got strep, and I mean there was a whole other incident of We got robbed. He got robbed.
Yeah.
We won't even get into that, but yeah, there was all kinds of madness on that thing. But
So
anyway,
Otherwise, it's a perfect tour.
We had a great time.
actually, it was just like a regular old tour. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Do it again.
Yeah,
anytime.
do it again in a heartbeat. The bands were so cool to us. Everybody was like super awesome. I mean, they really they came through for us. They knew what we were going through. So
it was kind of, I'm sure, been like,
we were broke. We had no money. It's like our buses,
They took care of us. BLS.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did. They gave us a lot of their catering. I mean, their tour
Really?
manager
Oh, wow.
brought food literally to us, going, "Listen, we know you guys are like
Yeah.
in dire straits, so hey, this is from the band and stuff." So I mean,
Wow,
you know,
that's really cool.
yeah. By the end of it, they were just everybody knew our situation, and we're just like, "Oh, you're part of the family." And we made our shows, sound check, like not
Like-
late. Like I mean, mind our P's and Q's. We're low band on the totem pole.
Right.
So they were just impressed that, you know, we hit all our marks considering.
That's awesome. That
So-
says a lot about you guys as a band.
Yeah, we made it. And then, you know, it took
just a respect level too.
just unforeseen circumstances, and it's uncontrollable, and it's
Right.
you know, acts of nature or whatnot. And luckily, my family lives up there. So we had a place to hang out, waiting for the bus and the engine, everything to show up. So we got to hang out with my folks, and I literally hadn't been back to Canada in 17 years.
Oh, wow.
So for me to go
Wow.
back with these guys and, you know, show all my friends what I've been doing down here, you know, other than Facebook or whatnot,
Right.
was a gas. You know what I mean? And these guys were like kids in candy stores up in Canada, going, "Oh my God," you know.
Yeah, how cool.
So
is that?
just the
Great time,
sightseeing,
Yeah.
you know, was cool.
So do you have any shows coming up soon?
Yeah, you know, we as a band agreed to get off the road, write the stuff, and you know, no shows until the album comes out. We've been offered, you know, Clint over at Trees always takes care of us, and
Right.
we're like one of the first calls to offer us, "Hey man, what do you think about this?" And we're just like, no playing until the record's done. But Buck Cherry just got offered,
Cool.
so it's like, man, it'd be nice
Is
to.
it junk?
Yeah, they're on there too. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting enough.
We just talked with Billy Blair last week.
Yeah.
Was it last week?
A couple weeks ago. Yeah,
Couple
yeah,
weeks
yeah.
ago.
Right on. Yes, it should be a good show. I mean, it's bound
Yeah.
to sell out. I mean, for such a small, you know,
Yeah.
venue. for a
Yeah,
band like
and
that.
I've seen Buck Cherry like in big venues
Oh,
before.
yeah.
I saw Trees.
I saw him with Kiss. That's the last time I saw Buck Cherry. Was you know,
That's crazy.
American Airlines. I'm looking forward to it. I mean,
Yeah.
and for us, I mean, this will be the first show for us playing the new songs because, you know, we decided that the tunes that we recorded were, you know, that time and place, and now it's time for some new stuff. So we just literally wrote all new stuff. So
Cool.
nobody's really heard this, you know.
Right on.
And what date is it?
September
It's
8th.
September 8th.
Cool.
It's a Sunday, so
Awesome.
I mean,
I'll have to
Sunday,
make sure to
Maybe
Yeah.
that
Sunday.
can be our birthday show.
Yeah, there you go. My birthday's like 2
Our
days
birthdays are in
beforehand.
September.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
So,
Perfect.
That's a great idea.
right on.
We should do that. Well, is there anything else you want to address? Being here, I mean.
No, I mean, I think
maybe.
maybe we'll have a CD release party at some point at our
Cool.
studio in Fort Worth. We just built a studio, and
Nice.
you know, it's a rehearsal facility as
I'll
well.
check that out.
Yeah, maybe you guys could shoot a show there.
That'd be awesome.
Or
Yeah,
something,
yeah,
you
Wes,
know?
that'd be really cool.
We'll
By
have
all
a
means,
live CD release show.
We should have a live CD release show from there.
yes, that would be amazing. And you know, anytime you guys want to bring a band in or do an interview there too, I mean, there's facilities. It's like
Oh man, that'd be fantastic.
we
Yeah,
got a
cool.
30 by 16 foot stage. We got huge
Really?
roll up doors. You could just roll the bus, trailer, whatever, straight in, load right in.
Cool.
You know, facilities, kitchen, bathroom, shower. You know, we got a
Do you love
live-in
the shower?
engineer. Nick is rocking the place. So
Sounds
yeah.
good, man. Thank you
Right
very
on.
much.
You
And
open
thanks-
invitation.
We will be there. We will be there. Well, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us. This is amazing.
Yeah, anytime.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, time for our new and latest segment, Rock and Roll Free for All.
Free for everyone.
That's right. We are going to talk about, it can be kind of controversial, is bootlegs. That can go from CDs, used to be albums, or
8 tracks.
8-tracks. You know, I just probably know bootleg 8-tracks out there. real. And also shirts at concerts. What do you think? Like, would you buy a bootleg CD?
No, it's wrong. You shouldn't do it for the same reason.
From a show, from let's say a live show, not a like not a like a not a
Not
album that's coming out.
pirating.
Yeah, not an album that's coming out prior to the release, but like a show, like a live. Because I think we both agree that pirating an album before it comes out is just wrong.
Well, yeah, that's
Totally wrong.
absolutely wrong.
But a live show.
But maybe a live show. That's a little bit different. I mean, if I paid to get into the show,
Right.
maybe. I mean, because the band's getting their cut. That's from the show.
Right.
It might be frowned upon. I can understand that you would frown upon that. That's like taking a to-go box from a buffet. I get it.
Right.
But
But
yeah,
music's free. It's in the
music
air.
should be free for everybody.
Right. And I heard that line from Jimmy Page. Because he's a big collector, and ever since I heard him say this, I go, oh, I feel better about myself. Because he actually has a big bootleg live music collection. And he says...
So I'm not a terrible person. Also.
Right. I feel so much better. And he says that, music that is played out there is free for everyone.
Right.
And, obviously, he's in a position where that's okay. And I think it is, too. I think...
As long as you're not selling it for an exorbitant price.
Right. And I agree with you on that. And a lot of times I get my bootlegs as a trade. Or, like, friends will, like, have a copy and give it to me. I bought a few in the past, but like there's a lot of trades. There's a band called Government Mule, and once it kind of caught on to where people are like recording all their shows, they just set up an area for people to record their shows, and like big mics like that. Well, not like that, but but they have an area where people can set up microphones and record their shows in a sound quality environment. So I think that's very cool, and I really respect, because I think everyone likes to hear something you can't buy. It's not over processed. It's from that night, kind of like a souvenir from the night that you saw.
Right, exactly. It's a memento.
Right. The best memento ever is that, and I gotta say, one of my favorite bootlegs is I saw Page and Plant back in '95. And I was at a record convention in Austin, and there's this guy, he's in Dallas, and I actually saw him not too long ago, and ran into him. And he used to sell, I don't know, but he would sell like photos and CDs and also bootleg, at the time it was VHS. And I got the show I saw on VHS. I still have it. It's very, very cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that, stuff like that I think is pretty...
That I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and so stuff like that, and it's like, I went there, I bought the merchandise, I bought their music, I bought the ticket, so I don't feel bad. I spent enough money...
I didn't sneak in to videotape it and then sell it and make money with it.
And with Zeppelin, I have bought their stuff, every album 4 times over, so I don't feel bad at all.
Yeah, he's got a whole wall of it over here.
Yes, I do. And that kind of brings us to the point, too, when you're at a concert. If you see someone in the parking lot with a bootleg t-shirt, do you buy it?
Maybe. Although I always support buying merch from the band.
Correct.
But sometimes, I don't know, they look different than what you get from the merch table. And like you said, if I bought my ticket, I bought their merch, I buy their albums, I'm there and I'm a true fan, then why wouldn't I want some other kind of souvenir, like, hey, check out this bootleg shirt that I bought. It doesn't look nearly as cool as the shirt that I bought from the band's merch table, but... Yeah, what I mean? It's, it's a story that goes along with it.
Hell, before we started taping, I was in a bootleg shirt. And, I mean, I have plenty of them.
I wouldn't have known until he told me.
It's a cool looking shirt, too.
It's a cool looking shirt. It's very metal.
Yeah, I am
as metal as the Scorpions can get.
Well, they're pretty damn metal. But I have the criteria that is you. It's like, if I have bought their merchandise in the past, if I've supported them with their album sales... And obviously, I bought a ticket to this concert. That I don't see anything wrong with that, especially
I'm a free American. I can buy what I want.
Right. Yeah. And also when you see the prices at some of the shows are $35 for a shirt to $40. It's like they say $20, and I know, and I will. I'll give them another 10, and I do.
Yeah.
So it's like that's a no-brainer, and sometimes they fall apart, sometimes they're really good, but whatever. It's like that's if you guys don't charge $35 and always charge $25, like some bands still do, I'll buy the $25 shirt anytime.
No questions asked.
So the $10 thing, it makes a difference.
Total
Huge
difference,
yeah.
especially when there's $13 beers. Just cut us some slack on the t-shirt prices.
See, exactly. We have to balance.
Chicks don't like to spend too much on a t-shirt.
And guys don't like spend too much on a shirt, period. But the concert shirt, you can make little concessions for that. All right, well, that was a great first.
Not bad.
What's wrong with that? Not too bad.
Not
Cool.
bad.
All right, so ready for this week in concerts. There's quite a few really good shows this week.
There actually is. It was hard for us to narrow down which one we were going to tell you about. So, first, we've got on August 4th, we've got Courtney Love at House of Blues with Hole. So that's definitely worth checking out.
Very good, yeah.
Can't wait. I mean, we were just talking about, we liked America's Sweetheart. That was an album that we both really liked.
Yeah, it's very
Every
very
song
good.
on there is pretty much pretty awesome. So definitely worth taking a look at that.
And on August 2nd, at Trees, we have POD and Flyleaf. And Flyleaf has a brand new lead singer. The previous lead singer quit mid-tour, I believe it was last year. So they have someone fairly new. They just did an EP. And so I'm kind of interested to hear how she's going to sound compared to the other one.
Yeah, because the other one had a really distinct voice.
Right.
I mean, and really powerful.
Yes.
Like, to get out of a girl that size, because she wasn't very big. She was kind of a petite girl.
Right.
Then she had such a big voice. So it is going to be interesting to see how... Maybe they went in a totally different direction.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not
don't
sure.
know.
And they're from Denton, is that correct? They're
I
from
think
around
so,
there.
yeah.
So I was kind of surprised to hear that because for me, when I bought the albums of Flyleaf, it was because of her voice.
Right, yeah.
So
I think everybody fell in love with her voice.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like hesitant, but I'm not so excited to see the show now that they're with another singer, but it's still maybe pretty good.
I think it might be worth us checking out just to see what they did.
And plus POD, they always bring it.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. Who else do we have coming up?
Chimera.
Oh, they're awesome.
But yeah, we all know Chimera. That's going to be a great show. And that's also at Trees.
Nice. Trees is like packing them in right
Trees
now.
is popping.
Yeah.
So we need to get your butts down to Trees.
Exactly.
Head on down to Deep Ellum.
That's right. Local music.
Support the scene.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for joining us this week on Rock City.
Don't forget to check us out on Facebook.
And follow us on Twitter.
And as always,
Rock on.